Regarding college students, a cohort that's about to enter the work world and thinking about how do I get best prepared? What classes should I take? What do I make of this AI stuff? What's the best way to approach my job? What's your advice on how to think about those next steps? And what are the core attributes that they should be thinking about or characteristics they should be thinking about acquiring?
One of the interesting things or observations I believe I have from my college experience, and maybe I'll speak for some of my friends. In my case, I was definitely more of a passive college student in terms of like I understood what the curriculum that was laid out for me was, and I just progressed through that curriculum. Even in terms of approaching some of my career choices, it was like, hey, I almost felt like some of them were predestined in terms of like, that's what this looks like, and that's what I should be striving for, but didn't necessarily fully unpack the why. My friends are doing that. My friends are being very successful at that. That seems like that's a good path and just navigate it that way. Whereas I would love to give the generation that's in college right now a lot more credit than that. Maybe they just benefit from we were the early internet age and they've learned from our experience. But I think college students or the kids that I interact with most often today have a very clear direction in many cases, much more clear than I feel like I had. I've even had a handful of conversations where I believe the kids were less concerned with getting a diploma from college and they were actually there for the learning. Whereas I probably felt it was the other way around. Check this box, get a diploma, you will get a job. Where I think kids now are like, I'm taking this class, and this class, and I need to learn these three things. And whether they complete the class or not, as long as they learn those three things, they're satisfied because they're on a path that they've already chosen or mapped out. I also just think in general, college in general or learning in general now is going to continue to change dramatically in some ways from a cost perspective, in some ways from a job market perspective, in some ways from what you can get from boot camp or non-traditional learning areas and tools and where you gather your information from. I just think that's going to look wildly different in the next handful of years. Those seeds of change have already been well planted. In terms of advice for college kids, some of the things that I recognize in my career that I would hope that they would find on their own is being adaptable, understanding that life is changing very rapidly right now, whether that's the onset of AI, whether that's the changes in technology, whether that's the changes in how we learn and how we go about learning. Being a lifelong learner and having curiosity, those as traits are more important than where you go to school or where you're doing your learning from. I think you will naturally work through some of those things and gain the intelligence and skills or the things that you need to be a contributing team member to really any team. Obviously, there's technical skills and things that need to be developed to enter the workforce. There's always going to be variability in how folks choose that. But I think having some of these more broader principles in understanding being a great teammate and things like that,